Hey guys, it's Chevy JP86 back again with another video of extreme gaming, and this video is basically just going to be a pickups video of what I've accumulated in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I got a few things to show anyways. I got a couple of doubles actually, just because of I ordered a couple games online and then I managed to come across them throughout the period of waiting for them to show up. So, and the only reason why I grabbed them is because I got a really good deal on them. So anyways, on with the video. I got a few NES games here. We got Air Fortress, a game made by HAL. It's kind of like a side-scrolling shooter. It's not too bad. I actually recommend getting it if you don't have it in your NES collection. This one I don't recommend so much, but if you want to collect it, go for it. Rocket Ranger. An extremely boring strategy type game. It's boring. It's like Wall Street Kid boring, or worse even. Jackal. Pretty much everybody knows all about Jackals. Kind of a driving around, shooting out the side of your vehicle, enemies over the top, head view, throwing grenades out of your vehicle, blowing stuff up. It's awesome. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, also known as the black sheep of the Castlevanias, or known as a Castleroid, basically meaning Metroid and Castlevania. I don't know, it's a terminology that's spawned over the years. It's one of the first Castlevanias where you actually upgrade your equipment by buying different whips and stuff, whereas before you just collect whips as you go through the adventure. Well, in this you actually have to buy and equip, and yeah, it's different, which I don't mind. It's fine. A lot of people don't like it, but I don't mind it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old school one, the one I actually remember playing in the arcade. I remember actually playing this exact one in the arcade, not the arcade Ninja Turtles, but this one. And yeah, I always remember beating up oversized ants in the sewers, or trying to go up a ladder where you try to get pizza, but you can't get the pizza because there's so many goddamn enemies in the way, so that you might as well just die going up the ladder. That's actually on an episode of AVGN. It's hilarious. One of the most commonly known games to man, period, Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt. Who cares? Can't believe people try to sell that for $10. I've seen it for $10 locally. That's insane. Dragon Warrior 2. It's a little harder to come by. After Dragon Warrior 1, it started to get extremely rare to find any Dragon Warrior past the first one. So, alright. And I actually picked up Dragon Warrior 3 as well, which is a next step up for rarity. So I was really glad to get that one. And the guy that I got it off of actually had one more copy. I was just like, wow. Just a guy that's just been collecting forever. Another excellent game that I love to have in my library and I'm a huge fan of over the years, Mega Man 2. I love Mega Man 2. It's probably one of my favorite Mega Mans, and it's got some awesome music too. Another good thing about the Mega Man series back in the day was the cheesy box art that they had on the Mega Man labels themselves. It was just hilarious. You look at all this, if you look real close, Mega Man almost looks like he's smiling as he's shooting, but he's actually squinting, but he just looks like he's smiling. And I always thought that was hilarious. Mega Man 2, love it. Super Mario Bros. 2 is another one. I actually got this from an excellent YouTuber, Slash's Elite. Can't thank you enough, man, for this. This was awesome. Really glad to get it. This is also I got another copy of this, as well as the one that Slasher sent me. The one that I got was, I just got it for real cheap, but no, I was really glad to receive this one. So I'm definitely gonna keep them in the library for forever. Got Ninja Gaiden 2 as well as Ninja Gaiden. I was glad to grab these because it's dry locally here. You can't find any decent games for good prices these days locally. It's just really hard to come by. Really glad to have them. Mega Man 3. Once again, the box art, it's not as bad on Mega Man 3 as it is on the first and the second Mega Man, but it's still got its funny moments there on the card. But we love it anyway. Final Fantasy, the very first one, and this one I actually ordered, but I'm kind of not happy with it just because it's got a lot of, well, some front label damage. I wasn't very happy with that when I received it, so whatever. I got a decent price on it. Everywhere around my place, like my city, it's like everyone's wanting like around $20 for it. So I was like, screw that. I'll try and get it online for cheaper, and I did. Even when with the shipping, it still came out to less than $20. So I can't complain. Actually, way less than $20. More around the $10 mark. Alright, so the next one here, Kirby's Adventure. We all know about Kirby. I don't really have to elaborate too much on Kirby, except that it's awesome. Pinbot, exactly how, well, Pinbot, it's a pinball game. And it's actually decent too. I really recommend picking it up. So, Pinbot. And Battle Chess. What can I say? It's a NES cartridge that has chess on it. It's extremely slow. You move a pawn out, your enemy will move his pawn out, and then when they take each other over, or one of them takes over one another, they walk really slow, literally that slow, and then just battle each other. It'll cut from that into another sequence where you see both the pawns battling it out, or knights, whatever it may be, and whoever took over who first is the winner every time. So if you do that to him, it'll do the same thing. It'll do the same battle animation, except he'll go down instead of you going down. My biggest complaint with this game overall is that it's too slow. So, which really it basically keeps it hard for the individual to keep interested in the game. I'd almost rather it be just regular chess, where you just go like this, and your little chess piece just goes diagonal and takes over him. Simple. This is just, it takes like 5 minutes to move one pawn. It's crazy. Anyways, moving on. Now these are the games that I have double of, and I've accumulated double of Dracula's Curse, which is Castlevania 3. I got two copies basically, because the one I had on order, and then I came across another copy while it was coming in, so I picked up the one that I came across because it was cheap and it was in excellent shape too. So after seeing what the Final Fantasy one that I grabbed, I didn't want to pass on this one and then get my other one in and it be in worse condition than described. I always hate it when that happens when you grab stuff online. And another couple of games that I grabbed here are Zelda. I got 2 copies of that. The one that came in was actually in worse shape than the one that I picked up off the guy locally, so I was happy again to pick up the one locally here. But overall I can't complain, so there we go. That's all for my NES cartridges. I only got a few 64 cartridges, and these ones that I got here are Wave Race 64. Believe it or not, I don't even have that in my library yet. Mario Tennis. There's a lot that I actually don't have for 64. Star Fox 64. Once again, thank you Slash's Elite for the excellent game. I was glad to have this in the library. Thank you. And last but not least, another copy of Zelda Ocarina of Time. You can't have too many of them. They're still valued highly. So and plus I got a good deal on it, so I grabbed it up. And then I only got a couple of Sega games here. Actually, I've got one in the console. I got Sonic 3D Blast was one that I grabbed. I really like that one actually on the Genesis. It's an excellent game. Maximum Carnage, I actually ordered this one in. Really, really good side-scrolling beat-em-up, guys. Like, I like it as much as Final Fight. It's excellent. They did such a good job on the SNES and the Genesis version. And Sonic Spinball, complete in the box with the manual and everything. So can't complain there. That's it for Sega games. Only a few of them. And Sonic 3D Blast is actually in excellent shape too. It's just the cart. Now I'm going on to SNES stuff. I've got about a few games. We got Gradius 3. It's a side-scrolling shmup, space shooter basically. Same with R-Type 3 and Super R-Type. They're all side-scrolling shooters, which are excellent, and they seem to. There's a lot of them on the SNES and the Genesis, so they're not few, but they're pretty sought after games. Like, a lot of people like that type of stuff, so I wanted to grab them because I don't have them yet, and I like them. I got Cybernator. It's a Konami-made game, as well as Prince of Persia, Konami-made. These ones I don't mind. Cybernator's a decent game. It's a side-scrolling platformer. You're a mech, and you shoot a bunch of shit down out of the sky, and you kind of just roam around. You actually have a jetpack and like a speed boost. Like your guy kind of levitates as you run. It's not bad. It's actually a pretty decent game. Prince of Persia, not too much to explain on Prince of Persia. If you ever played any of those games back in the day, you have a certain set amount of time to get out of a dungeon, and you got to try and survive all the obstacles that are in your way, and yada yada yada. On the older ones, it's not too bad. It was worth picking up though, because it's harder to find. I don't really see too many of either of those games. Donkey Kong Country 2. I was really glad to grab this since it's harder to come by for a decent price. 49er Nation 1 actually got 2 copies of Donkey Kong Country 2 in a Craigslist pickup that he just got, and I was just shaking my head going, damn man, you lucky bastard, 2 copies, and they're in good shape too. And he paid like $20 for the whole lot of all this stuff that he grabbed. I was just like, oh my god. You know, you could sell Donkey Kong Country 2 for $20, no problem. So I was glad to get that. And 49er Nation 1, you're lucky. That was a lucky score, man. Props. What do we got here? Another one that's actually decent, and I really highly recommend you try to find this. Anyone that's collecting Super Nintendo games, Legend. It is a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but it's a medieval side-scrolling beat 'em up, meaning there's swords involved, which is awesome. And it's a 2-player. It can be 2-player or 1-player, whatever you want to play. It's pretty sweet. It's got the same concept as Streets of Rage or Final Fight. You pick up food to regain health. You take out people from left or right. You try and survive. You get through the levels. It's that type of thing, but it's awesome. So, Legend. I recommend picking that one up. And now we're down to the rarer to find games. Illusion of Gaia. It's well, not Square Enix, but it's an Enix RPG, and it's not too bad. It's a decent one to have in the collection, and it's actually an overall decent game. It's a solid game. So Illusion of Gaia. We got Yoshi's Island. It's a little more sought after. It's harder to find. So and it's an excellent game. Oh man. Such an excellent game. It's on par with Super Mario World, or some people even like it better, which is not hard to believe because it's a neat cartoony game. I give it that, and it's just yeah. And this game alone can go anywhere from $20 to $30 just for the cart. So glad to have that. Now we're down to the last 3 games here. I was really super stoked to find this game, and this game alone can go for $40 to $50 just for the cart, and that's Super Mario RPG. And like I said, guys, really stoked on having this in my collection. I remember playing this back in the day, and I'm probably going to play through it again now that I have it. Of course, I'd have to. Yeah, no true collector doesn't just not play his games. You gotta play them again. So yeah, I got that, and I got it for 25 bucks. I can't complain. I was happy. And here are the last 2, Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3. I got both of these for 40 bucks. This game you can sell alone. I could probably sell it for 35 if I wanted to. I probably wouldn't sell it that high. But no, yeah, you could probably get 35, 40 bucks for it. And then Final Fantasy 2 I don't have in my collection, but I got 2 copies of these, so I'll probably either trade this off or sell it, or just keep it for a while. But yeah, no, Final Fantasy 2 is another excellent one to add. I'm still going to try and find a box and instruction manual for it. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my pickups for all the games that I've accumulated between Genesis, SNES, and 64, and NES. And I actually got another Super Nintendo Mini for a really good price. These are a little harder to come by. You don't see them very often. A lot of people don't even know about them. And there's actually a couple of Super Famiclones, I guess they call them, Super Famiclones, that actually take on the same design as the Mini SNES. So they look very similar to this console, and can be mixed up with this console when you look at them online. But the dead giveaway is basically Super Nintendo right there, and Nintendo basically embroidered into it. So I've never been a real big fan of those Famiclones. They're a decent alternative if you can't find any of these, but you can, if you can't find these, which they are harder to come by, you just get a Super Nintendo. Simple as that. But yeah, no, that's I grabbed that. I was happy to get that for a decent price. But yeah, that is basically everything in a nutshell in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, that's it. I was glad to show you guys everything that I've accumulated, and as you can see in the background, I got a little Castlevania action going on. The very first Castlevania, the one that was a bitch. You drop like a goddamn sack of rocks when you jump off the side of a cliff. Oh, so many hours put into that game and just getting choked at it. But nonetheless, classic. Had to have it in the video. Anyways, guys, I'm ChevyJP86, your host, and I am done for this episode. Take care, guys.